So what's happening, guys? Back with another supplement review. This is the Turkesterone 3-week update. It's actually like 3.5 weeks, so I took it a little bit longer because I wanted to deliver you guys the right information of me comparing this to my Ecdysterone runs, which you guys have been following the channel for a while. You know I've done a few of those, and my Turkesterone runs. And I think I've said this before in other videos. Turkesterone, a good quality Turkesterone at 10%, at around 240, 250 mgs, actually delivered some good effects within that month. So I'm going to compare this to that. I'm taking a gram of this, 2 pills a day, and that's Black Forest Turkesterone, 95% pure. At least the claims on the certificate of analysis says that. But then we're finding out that it all depends on how they actually process this to determine on if it's Turkesterone or Ecdysterone. So this deboogle with Derek and Greg Doucette, and if you guys heard the videos that they put out, Greg put out a video that basically was yelling at his customers, telling them to suck it up. That he tested it, and yes, for sure, there's only a little bit of Turkesterone, and it's mostly 20-hydroxy Ecdysterone, but he says suck it up because that's where all the studies have been done, and he's not lying to you. He gained 4 pounds of muscle taking it, so it works. So stop complaining. Hey Greg, some of us out there know about muscle memory, and you used to be bigger. So 4 pounds of muscle that you might gain off of something depends on your diet and your training and how hard you go at it. So I mean, you can gain that back pretty quickly. So who knows if it had anything to do with the Ecdysterone. But that's besides the point. And Derek came out with a video basically it was an hour-long video. It was ridiculous. And he was just bringing person after person on, from scientists to other product owners, and just basically blaming the process on how hard it is. Poor Derek and poor Greg sitting on all that money. I really feel sorry for you. Anyways, getting back into this 3.5 week update on Turkesterone. So I'm going to compare this to my Ecdysterone runs. I ran Ecdysterone at a gram, so it was 500 mgs twice a day, a couple times, and then more than a couple times. And I've run Turkesterone at the 10% up to 250 milligrams. And this right now, I'm taking this 1 gram. I'm taking a pill twice a day. So Ecdysterone is supposed to work off of the estrogen receptor, which we have estrogen receptors in our cell membranes. We have androgen receptors as well. So it's not supposed to mess with your hormones. And when I've taken these products, and I've had blood work done, it's never done anything to my testosterone or anything like that. But it works off of the estrogen receptor, which means it's good for recomping, if anything, and sparing muscle. So I think Ecdysterone, Laxogenin, Turkesterone is great if somebody's, running maintenance like I do, or going a little below and they're trying to lean out and change things, because what it's going to do is it's going to displace that estradiol, that's the estrogen that's being converted from testosterone by aromatase, and it's going to block it if it makes it to the receptor before the estradiol does, and block the estrogen from actually having effects. So you might get, a leaning out look or leaning out effect. I think a lot of guys kind of talk about that. Some guys actually show pictures before and after, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, dude, you just freaking leaned out. You didn't get bigger. But that's besides the point. Let's get into my opinion on running this, as far as comparing it to the other ones. So this, if anything, and I've ran crappy Ecdysterone, I've run really good quality Ecdysterone, and within a month, within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Ecdysterone itself, 20-hydroxy, if it's really good quality, you're going to notice like a little more pep in your step, like I've noticed off of 3.5 weeks on this. You're going to notice a strength gain, but it's not going to be like this continuous abundance of strength through the cycle. It's going to peak like it did for me at the 2.5 week mark. And then it's going to pretty much top off, especially if you're running maintenance and you're not bulking and adding those extra calories in. It's going to top off, and it's pretty much not going to get that much over 2 months or 3 months, that much more. So, if you're training for strength and you're eating for strength, then yes, you will gain more strength off ecdysterone over a period of time. So you have to run these for 2 to 3 months to do that. So that's exactly what I'm feeling right now. I'm not feeling any more than my last update as far as strength gains, as far as my strength being all at the peak of my performance. So like I can go in there feeling crappy or feeling good, and my strength is always consistent. I got a little more pep in my step. I have noticed in this 3.5 mark, what I've noticed before off of ecdysterone runs and turkesterone runs is a little bit of a leaning out effect. As far as muscle size, the leaning out effect, if I look at a picture of myself now and a picture of myself 2 months ago, I'm pretty lean as it is. So I literally really only notice that I'm leaning out and your physique's looking a little more toned is what's going on. So off of this 1 gram, this is comparing right now for me to a good quality ecdysterone at this point. Now there's another factor in this. So when I compare this to the turkesterone, a good quality turkesterone, like the best one that I've ever ran that I pumped up to 250 milligrams, just so you guys know, was Nutra Innovations. And that's where I noticed like the best effects, I believe, off of turkesterone at that lower dose. This, I noticed more off of that 250 mgs, if I can remember right, in a shorter period of time than I have with this one here. So there's 2 factors that could be going on right with this stuff here, just so you guys know. Ajuga, just like you see in this thing going on right now, how they're extracting this Ajuga plant and it's becoming 20-hydroxy. It's all mostly ecdysterone. That's because Ajuga does carry other ecdysteroids within the plant itself. So when you buy a 10% extract, you're supposed to not only be getting that 10% turkesterone, but anywhere between 10 and 20% of ecdysteroids, which is mostly 20-hydroxy ecdysteroid. So when you're running something like this, which is a 95% pure, supposedly, they have a certificate analysis. Don't know how they came up with it. Don't know how they actually ran this, if it was ran properly to test for testing, but they're saying it's 95% pure. It's a pure turkesterone. And then you have products like this, which I don't want to show the company right now, that is a 10% extract of turkesterone, because this isn't on the market yet and I have it. So what I'm going to do, because it was just so long ago on running the 10% extract at that 250 milligram mark, is I'm going to finish the month completely on this one here, the Black Forest. And I'm going to continue with updates as I run 300, because this one here, if it comes on the market and it's good, then it's something that I can actually deliver you guys some information. And when it does come on the market, you guys can be, up on some of the new stuff coming out. So I'm going to jump on this when I finish a few more days of this. And as I run this from week to week, I'll come on here and give you guys updates. It might be real short updates. I might be saying, hey, I'm still feeling the same way. I might say, hey, I'm feeling something more. But at least I can kind of compare the two. Any questions, leave it down below. If you can, before you leave, give the video a thumbs up. It does help the channel. Other than that, I'm going to get up and off to making dinner. And we'll see you guys next time on the channel.